The animals that tend to invade are more mobile, maybe more adaptive to more general changes in habitats, more flexible with environmental change. That confers some kind of competitive advantage.
Of all the weed species on Earth, we are the most mobile, the most adaptable, and the most flexible by far. The good news is, we'll probably be around for a long time. The bad news is, the world around us may be very different. As the rate of extinction accelerates, every species that disappears leaves one less to prop up others.
So the question is, in our own modern world, with our own house of cards, how close are we to that whole edifice coming down? Have we reached that threshold?
This is the Great Plains state of North Dakota, farm country. It's where one of the battles against human-caused extinction is being fought, only this time by pitting two biological invaders against each other. The enemy here is a weed called leafy spurge. So well adapted and tenacious, it threatens to kill off native grasses. It's already spread across 1 million acres. A century ago, pioneers accidentally brought it with them in bags of seed. Now the settlers' descendants are faced with the consequences.
The leafy spurge limits the number of cattle that I can put in a pasture. I mean, they'll eat the grass that's in there, but if it's infested with leafy spurge, they just won't touch it. There's a milky substance to it, and it's pretty bitter. They don't like it.
Cy Kittleson's great-grandfather homesteaded the land. Today, Cy and his father own 4,000 acres. The weed covers over 1/3 of their ranch. They have tried spraying it with a weed killer, but leafy spurge is not easily beaten.
I look at it as cancer to the land, and it makes the land just totally useless. The chemicals cost between $90 and $100 a gallon, and it takes about a gallon to cover 1 acre of land. And so that's $100 an acre, and that's not counting your time. And that's about all the land is worth.
How many acres would that cover?
Chuck Weiser, the local bank's agricultural loan officer, understands the financial toll of a biological invasion.
Okay, you know exactly what that is. Right?
He has battled leafy spurge in one way or another for 25 years.
A leafy spurge is a very deep-rooted perennial that is competitive for nutrients and moisture with our native grass, and so it has an advantage both in food storage in its root system and ability to regenerate growth.
If a chemical won't stop it, how can farmers fight an invader that's taking over the ecological niche of native grasses? The solution may be another invader, discovered when scientists learned what kept leafy spurge in check in its native Russia. It's the flea beetle, a case of fighting evolutionary fire with fire.
Flea beetles feed on the roots and in the crown of the plant and bore holes allowing molds to get in. They deplete the food reserve in the root, and so they're just kind of beating it up so it's weaker and weaker and eventually does not produce any top growth.
Flea beetles were first brought to Ward County in 1984. Each summer, teams harvest beetles and move them to infested areas. The beetles reproduce so rapidly that a release of 100 in 1 year yields a harvest of 2 million the next. That just leaves the challenge of actually getting them to the right place.
We found that on the large infestations of spurge in really rough country that's hard to get into, we can put out more beetles faster using a light airplane than any other method. Our flight today consisted of 150 canisters we dropped with approximately 5,000 beetles in a canister. We put out somewhere around 750,000 beetles. Weeds grab life from us. If we don't do something, we'll be taken over by them.
It started out small, and now every spring now I go out and harvest these bugs and spread them around, and I can really see some good results with it now. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a long time, but I can see the results.
The story of Cy's farm is a story of hope. It means that we can do more than just watch native species go extinct. We can fight back, but that requires information we may not have. In Thailand, the research expedition is still waiting for the data it needs. Will the scientists discover that it's already too late for Kenkajaan? Has it become an empty forest? The other teams have collected all their cameras without trouble. 33 rolls of film in all.
Oh, look at this.
What you got here? That's a
That was
beauty. But I got a
probably-
better one for you. Look at this.
Wow. Now that's a nice picture.
Tiger
go
and
here.
leopard. Another leopard.
Another tiger. There we go.
Holy cow.
Look at that.
I'm
Oh,
assuming
look.
this is sambar deer. That's a nice
That's a
tiger.
really nice
Well, that's
tiger.
a nice shot.
Now, this is really interesting. Poachers or local people or something or other. This is the
We got
Peppery
the-
River. This is the second route.
This is
This
the
is-
one where I walked up 10 years
Yeah,
ago. That
yeah.
that one? That
That.
is some area. Look at this tape
On
here.
the tape here, yeah. Whew. Look at that. We've got great. Look at this. Siamese crocodile.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Crocodile.
This is the first recent photo of Siamese crocodile in Thailand.
While we were sleeping, while we were walking, while we were swimming in the river, all these animals were wandering around us. The tigers were walking around us, the leopards. The Siamese crocodile might have been in the water at another part of the stream at the same time we were jumping in and cooling off. It was definitely near us when we were standing on its beach. I know the tigers heard us. Probably several saw us. I know that the elephants froze there in the forest and we went by as if, wow, what a neat forest. There are still places left where the natural evolutionary processes are going on. Most of my career involves documenting species on the verge of extinction. But every now and then, you get a place like this, and you say, it's not lost yet. It's not gone yet.
Really? That close?
Knowledge is definitely our greatest tool against extinction. There is no doubt about it. Many species are on a very quick downward slide, possibly to extinction, faster than